Over 15 years ago, on January 6, 1997, at the Feast of the Epiphany, a Mass was celebrated at the Norfolk Prison in Massachusetts to name a group of Catholic prisoners and volunteers from parishes outside the walls of Norfolk, the Bethany community at Norfolk. The guiding spirit shepherding the establishment, the growth, and the development of Bethany at Norfolk was, and continues to be, that of Father Jean-Joseph Lataste.
Hi, my name is Ruth Reichel. I am the Executive Director of Bethany House Ministries and co-founder with my partner in crime here, Sister Kathleen Denovin. And we founded Bethany House back in the 80s when we were chaplains at Norfolk Prison. And we saw there was a need for re-entry services for people coming out. And when we started to see what the greatest needs were, we gathered a group of people together, people that had worked in the prisons, people who had been in prison, and we asked them, especially the men and women who had been in prison, what was your greatest need? What was it that you were afraid of? Or what were you looking for, as you were coming closer to your release? What were your greatest fears? And some of them would say, my greatest fear was that I would not be accepted into the community. People would look at me like I had a red blotch on my face and would know that I was in prison. And so as we created this ministry, we created a community where people coming out of prison could feel welcome. We created a place of healing, an environment where they could grow.
While I was in prison, I got to know the Sister Kathleen and Sister Ruth. Both of them were so inspirational and caused me to take a very good look at myself. In that sense, what I mean is, before 2000, I was in prison from 1970 to 1984. And I was released in 1984 without any kind of supervision. What I did was I left prison worse than when I come in. And for 6 years while I was out, I committed crimes. I was using drugs and alcohol, and I ended up back in prison in 1990 for life. So while I was in prison, I went back to school and I got my degree and I started going to church. But what I didn't realize at the time was that most of the things that I'd done to make my life better in prison was because of the people that I surrounded myself with. I am proud to say that I am the person I am today because of the sisters, and not only just the sisters, but also the people that work for the Bethany community here in Millis, and the people that moved on. We have standards within ourselves that we want to go through life, and that is to give back, to have empathy, and to understand that, God didn't put us on this earth to be the people that we were before we changed. They say, and I believe that, we are not defined by our past. And you know something? Nobody's defined by their past in this community.
The first 13 years in prison, I lived my life recklessly as I did on the streets because I have no idea what life had ahead of me and what was in store for me. I was afraid, alone, and scared. And when I lived my casino in 1997, my life drastically changed, and for the better. And when I was in Oconee, I met a priest who helped me change my life around. It wasn't easy to change your life around in prison. And when my life has changed, I was moved to Norfolk Prison where I met Ruth and Kathleen in the Bethany community, which saved my life. And if it wasn't for them, I would have been dead. There's a line in a song from Garth Brooks that said, "It took who I was and where I've been to make me who I am today." That is so important, but it took Ruth and Kathleen and all the people that have been part of my life to make me ready for society. I've been out 15 years today, and I would have never been able to do it if it wasn't for the Bethany community. I am the manager of the Hope Chest, which I love, the job I love, the people I met, and I love being able to help and be an example to these men and women who are coming out. I have a purpose in my life. I have a community that I truly love. I have the spirit of Father Lataste, and I'm just so grateful to be able to be here And I hope that the men and women who are at this fundraiser truly understand the importance of Bethany Ministry, because if it wasn't for them, and I speak for all of them, all the men and women behind me, that if we didn't have Ruth and Kathleen in the Bethany Ministry, we wouldn't have made it.
I worked for the Department of Correction for 28 years, and now I'm retired. Before I retired, I was the superintendent at South Middlesex Correctional Center, which is a minimum and pre-release center for women who are getting close to their release. So in my time in the DOC, I've learned a lot of lessons. I've worked with some extraordinary people, but most importantly for me was the opportunity to work with, at a distance, with Bethany House and the core of extraordinary volunteers that are part of the network. The people who are connected with Bethany House offer a gift to those who are incarcerated. They offer the gift of hope, the gift of opportunity, and the gift of unquestioned support. It is an incredible organization, and our work, even though we've been together for so long, I feel like our work is just beginning. So we tend to think of prison as taking away freedom for those who are incarcerated. And for those who enter the front door of a prison, that may be their most immediate experience. But prison life is so much more than loss of freedom. Prison life is built entirely on routine and order. Adherence to rules is paramount. Questioning and challenging of rules comes at a cost, and in most cases is not allowed. So the boredom of prison life seems unending. It is an experience that for too many people takes away their motivation and their desire for a different life. For those preparing for release, the burden of a criminal history, the lack of education and opportunity, and the lack of sustained support can be overwhelming. So faced with such uncertainty and fear, it is easy to go back to what people have known. For those who come back, though, to Bethany House and are surrounded by the gift of community, they learn that support and following the path of a Christian lifestyle makes a tremendous difference in their ability to sustain a new kind of life with people who are there for them no matter what.
I'm gonna get emotional. I'm gonna get really emotional. The first Tuesday night that I came here, I felt like I was really like with my people again. And it was just really awesome. I mean, I just left the people that I knew for 20 years and never to see them again. You know, it's like almost like being in a witness protection program, and you go from the people that you've known for half your life to here's a great big world and good luck. So coming here and having the support of, you know, some really great people that want to put you on the right path, and also being, you know, with some friends that have been inside. I mean, I knew people that had been inside, but they weren't doing the right thing. So even though like I felt they understood, you know, where I was at, they weren't on the same path as I was, because I was really trying to do the right thing. And here I came to Bethany House, and it opened up so many doors for me. This is family.
I was the first one to get married at Bethany House, so I kind of, nobody can take away my first. And the reason why I chose to get married here, because I could have got married other places, is because I wanted my Bethany family to intertwine with my biological family and see what kind of home I came out to from being in prison. And it's just beautiful here. It's peace. Whenever I want to regroup, sometime even though I don't live in this town anymore, I'll come back and say, I just need to come by and just sit, you know, just to regroup and just to have somebody to listen. Not always to have anything to say, but just to be comfortable with somebody listening is a wonderful thing to have. And I've learned to build my self-esteem as far as being an independent person and paying off bills and just being pointed in the right direction. I found that here at Bethany.
God has called us to serve, to help our brothers and sisters, to love one another. And that is why I have become involved in, passionate about, and committed to the work of Bethany House and Prison Ministry. I'm a senior vice president of a major bank where I work with nonprofits. That's my day job. But beyond that, my calling is to help others. And frankly, it's a double-sided blessing. I go and I give to try to bless, but I find God blesses me even more than I could ever imagine as I work with, befriend, and support others. My current role in ministry is working as a mentor, assisting Bethany House with aftercare and transition care for men or women getting out of prison. Truly, this ministry is about love, it's about support, it's about purpose, helping people find purpose. It's about belief in God, belief in yourself, belief that others care about you and are there for you, belief that you can make a difference. It's about potential. We all have potential. We are all growing. Not only those in prison, but all of us on the outside as well are growing and trying to transform and see what God has in store for us and what purpose He has for us, our meaning in life. And it's about mindset. It's changing mindset, helping redirect paths, and helping people truly explore what great opportunities they have. All of that is exciting, but it takes resources. It takes people, it takes volunteers, and it even takes money to support the different ministries that are ongoing. Ultimately, we're all interconnected. We are all children of God. We are all brothers and sisters. And these folks in prison are our mothers, our fathers, our brothers, our sisters, our children, our grandchildren, our nieces, our nephews, our friends. There but for the grace of God. So I invite you to support this incredible ministry.
And today I have a beautiful relationship with my beautiful daughters, and I have a beautiful granddaughter who loves her papa, and I never would have had that. I've lost every person in my family due to drugs and alcohol. Today I live a life that's truly blessed. I have a job that I love, and I have a community that loves and accepted me.
Let me live in my house by the side of the road where the race of men go by. The men who are good and the men who are bad, as good and as bad as I. I would not sit in the scorner's seat, nor hurl the cynic's ban. Let me live in my house by the side of the road and be a friend to man.
I have purpose in my life today, and I never had that in my life until I met Ruth and Kathleen and the people of the Bethany community.
Bethany Ministries. I'm so proud to be a graduate, and I'm so proud to be back here and giving back when I received so much.
It's a remarkable organization, and we ask for your support.
Anybody would be blessed to come here. You come here and you want to take the advice, you're going to make it. I mean, like, they're not going to do the work for you, but they're definitely going to point you in the right direction. And what you do with it, the angels that are in this house, you're going to make it. You're going to make it.
I would like to invite you to share in the blessing that I have so much enjoyed, whether it's as a volunteer, whether it's via donations of items for the Hope Chest, whether it's via financial resources and gifts to support the ongoing work of this ministry, and ultimately through your prayers that we can continue to look to God and do His work in bringing hope, love, transformation, and possibilities to God's people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Everything you need for success is right here.